Well, here's the bike, the £5 bike. Total wreck. I mean, I don't know, that wheel isn't original to it. Surely it can't be, because it's well, the remains of a Westwood rim, and it's got the old late 1940s oiler on the hub. I'll have to clean that up and have a look. But yeah, that's it's gonna go on the scrap heap, is this. So why buy it then? Well, a couple of things. It had a stainless steel front rim that's been in an accident. Spokes are horribly mangled, but the rim's good. That was worth a £5 in itself. And it's got the Rally Industries kickstand as well, with all its fittings. So that was why I bought it. Well worth a £5 for just having those two things. And then whatever else I can salvage from it, you know, like the mudguard stay bolts there, etc. Anything else I can take from it, I will. Maybe the front fork lock. But that has been outside for a very, very long time as that. This has fallen on hard times, as this bike. It's got one Hercules pedal. But yeah, that is fit for the scrap heap only now. After I've taken the parts off it. Right, let's have a look at these finds. There was the standard Vanguard light unit, of course, damaged, but it's got the correct backing plate. You know, I've got them others that this had been removed and someone had put the bulb holder in through the spectacle hole. Well, I can make a complete one out of the other bits I've got. Worth buying that. I've got a Rally Industries pump for the bikes. I've got one in mind for this. That was a nice find. There's Sir Walter there. He's unfortunately been gnawed by mice, but that's only the top part. That's okay, because that can be replaced. The bottom part's the most interesting, the actual pump body. That's the most important. And I'll get my shopping bag. Start with this. More bike parts. I did come away with a lot of bike parts. It was an exceptionally good year for them. Dunlop handlebar grips, proper man's size grip there, £2 each, which was absolutely phenomenal value. New old stock, great for the old bikes. From the same chap, the Rally Industries rear light unit combined with the reflector. This has had a replacement lens fitted. It looks like one from a Miller dynamo set. That it's a bit perished, but I bought it to have as a spare. It's the same type I fitted to me Project Daily Rider. This one is in exceptionally good condition, and I want it to stay that way, so I'm not sure about using it on a daily basis with this fitted, because of how good it is. I don't want it to pick up any damage, but that's staying there as it is. As I say, I just bought this one purely because it was there, and well, there it is. It'd be rude not to. I've got a couple of these Smiths, late 1960s, early 1970s fasten seat belts reminder. This illuminated in red when you switch the ignition on and you cancelled the warning, and when you switch the engine off it reset. Dating from the time, as I say, 60s, 70s, when wearing a seatbelt became the law. Nice thing, complete as well. Usually the paint on the inside goes on these, but that's a nice one, is that. I bought some seat belts, continuing in the same vein. Mostly I wanted these for the flexible buckle, whatever you'd call it, this thing here that bolts to the floor, because the ones in the Minor are that rigid cable type which gets in the way of tipping the seats up. So these I've wanted. It's the same type that are fitted, but now they can just lie on the floor when they're not in use, out of the way. Lucas front light for parts. It's got the other jewel in the side of there. I was hoping that these would be the same size as a battery lamp I've got, but they're not. That's the main reason I bought this. I didn't pay 10 for it. I gave him, he accepted less than that. Then there were another one as well, that's, you know, more junk really, but useful for the side lights there. Part of a dynamo, nice lens. Not sure what sort of bracket that would have had really, but that's yet to be determined. And then there were another one which I did want, because if you've been following my bike videos, the next project, this pre-war rally sports, I'd fitted this to it, but it's well worn and quite knackered. The release mechanism is poor, and the threaded strips for the earthing screw there, you see, and it needs a good earth to operate, of course. Oh yeah, and the terminal for the headlight has broken as well. It's also binding when it turns. I think it's the shaft bent or something, but it's started binding anyway. So this one, it doesn't have any of those faults. So this is what will be replacing that one. It might have had a date on it, 1946, which ties in with around the year of this bike. Or was this 1939? Yeah, this was the immediate pre-war one. Well, it's got a reflector lens there. So that was another nice find. Spur Humber Super Snipe speedometer, anything like that, I just buy it on site. Has been got at, and it's that one, but that's just the casing. I think it was 15 quid, which is fine. It's got the glass and everything, reasonably complete. Coil bracket, I need that for a Lucas sports coil, which is slightly larger in diameter than the other coils. Interior lights, found these separately. One were on one stand, one were on another, in one of them like £1, £2 rummage boxes where just put everything on a sheet and everything's a pound or two. For the Bedford, brand new thermostat, again a pound, 86 degree opening temperature, bellows thermostat, new old stock, a pound. You know, you can't quibble with some of the prices of this stuff. That, I'll get onto that in just a minute, because something goes with it. I've got these are I fitted one to the Morris Minor in the door, in the edge of the door, a warning light, but I've wanted a couple more. Sadly these are without lenses, but you could get a clear lens, because I want to use one as a puddle light, because you have to make a hole and they push inside the door, and it'd be a useful little luxury, wouldn't that? New £7 radiator cap for the Bedford, because the one that's on, it's not a particularly tight fit. I got some tools, some nice spanners then, Britool, 0 BA and 1/8 Whitworth for the bikes, the brakes. I think that's same 1/8 width, probably part of some specialist set. But there it was on its own. That were a nice thing. SU carb jet adjusting spanner there. That were a handy thing, because you can't always get a full size spanner into some of them because of access. Chrome, good chrome on these, and no wear on them at all. Stirrup guides for the brakes, the front brakes on the old rod brake bikes. Got a rear chain case slider. One of mine is missing, so that was nice find. Now I can complete the chain case with that. Horn relay off Dr. John Murden. One of the old horn relays with the screw terminals, Lucas SB40 family of relays. That's another bike screw for chain case. I bought this, the Quadrant, been terribly squashed, but being good steel, I'll be able to reform that to the top tube again, no problem. And it's not worn out either. It's not worn out on the what would you call them, locking segments there. A problem with these Quadrant shifters is that they wear, and then the lever doesn't stay in position. Almost last but not least, again something from the Pounder Pop box with these hinges, which I took a chance on because I didn't take any measurements with me regarding stud positions. I thought they might just fit the standard Vanguard. I didn't think they were, well, I sort of knew they weren't the same. They weren't for the Vanguard, but I thought if I could get away with it if these studs fitted. Anyway, I've just been out to check, and no, they don't, unfortunately. So the hunt is still on for a right-hand boot hinge for the Vanguard 3. But my neighbour has just suggested that I could make an adapter plate if I remove these, because those two fit on the boot lid, it's just these that don't. So it could be done if I remove these, then countersunk an adapter plate and drilled and tapped some more stud holes to correspond with the ones on the car. But we'll see, that'll be a last resort. So that is it, apart from this this which I purchased. It's a Trafalgar manual screen washer plunger, which I bought separately to this. which is a very rare old glass windscreen washer bottle. Now that the tops often go rusty on these, and inside as well underneath, but this is very good. And ain't that nice how it's got still got the labelling on as well. Manufactured by John Sidney, a Trafalgar product, and that will be Nelson's column, of course, the Battle of Trafalgar. Now I think I give a bit less than 40 quid for that, and it was something else I bought off the same bloke. But the Mark 1 Mini boys will go absolutely mad for this, because I believe it were these that were fitted to the very early Minis, the Mini Deluxe I believe it was, so they were an optional extra. But that was one of the best finds of the autojumble, was that. Now that'll be a nice one for my collection, and maybe one day I hope to be able to fit it to a car one day. Not just Minis, of course. These were sold aftermarket as an accessory, because cars didn't have screen washers in those days. So yeah, it was a good do. I've really enjoyed it, and now I'm gonna start, you know, putting some of this stuff away and using it as well.